The Jewish people have always had a peculiar relationship with money. Their Torah recounts tales of men accumulating fortunes of biblical proportion. When God took his people out of Egypt, he brought them to the foot of Mount Sinai and revealed to them many secrets, one of which was the secret to wealth. Throughout the ages, the world could not help but admire the Jewish people for their business prowess. Admittedly, in some generations, the admiration turned to hatred and became an excuse to commit unspeakable atrocities. Their greatest critics will say that they control the banks, the media, and the financial markets. Is it all just a coincidence? There is no denying that this ancient people possess a secret to the accumulation of riches that has defied the rule of nature. Alas, what is their great secret?
I've always been fascinated with money. Ever since I was a kid, I remember that I had this picture book when I was younger that inside of it, instead of putting photos, I would put bills, $5 bills, $10 bills. As I grew up, I would read any business book that I could get my hands on. And I'd also listen to any positive thinking guru that I could find. I guess you could say I've always been a student of money. There is a secret to wealth that the Jewish people have known for thousands of years. It was hidden inside of the Bible and was not ready to come out until this very last generation. You see, we're all ruled by one power, by one force, by one creator, and we all are subject to his laws. And when we know how to apply that to our lives, we're able to unleash wealth that we never thought possible. The Jewish secret to wealth is charity, in Hebrew called tzedakah.
The big key is the tzedakah. Giving the money actually gives us back more.
Because I prioritize giving, God prioritizes me.
The key secret is my charity that I give.
Tzedakah plays an intricate role in my everyday life and decisions that I make within my life.
Si quieres ganar, tienes que dar.
Generous people are more successful people.
Zohar says, open up for me a vessel like the eye of a needle, and I'll fit an elephant through it.
Now this goes against all logic. According to simple math, if a person has 10 of something and they take one and give it away, they're left with 9.
Imagine a pie that you have in front of you. Okay, someone gives you a beautiful apple pie that you love. That's the amount of money that you've earned during the year, that you worked hard for, that you've sweated with. You've got receivables and payables and staff and finding clients. We're sweating for our money, and that money is that pie. The idea of giving away 1 or 2 slices away, Hashem has ways to give you back those 2 slices and more.
What we're talking about here does not go according to nature. We're talking about a secret code that the creator of the universe himself embedded into the fabric of the universe. We're not talking about karma, that if you do good, you're gonna get good. No. We're talking about a hack in the matrix.
Der Rebischter sagt, als eine medagdik, bijudoke, bemele eine medagdik nime, et muras von arbo pomim, gitnem chamisha pomim, vekama pomim kocho, und zusammen damit techet, mit dem Schäfer, Tevas, mit Gittem Milmailo, gibt mir eine Meche, die Broche, was Loche, soll das vernutzen. Auf gesunde Sachen, friedliche Sachen, in Jone Teru, mit Zwiseo, mit der Simcha, vetuv levo.
When I came home from yeshiva and went back to work, the rabbi from my synagogue came and he asked for a pledge for the following year. He asked me for $18,000, which is roughly $1,500 a month. And it's what I owed at that time for charity, so I gladly said yes. By the end of the year, I fulfilled the pledge, but again, didn't think too much about it. That next year, I left my family business and I went to go start my own company from absolutely scratch. Right before Rosh Hashanah, the rabbi came to my new office to pledge me as he does every year. And when he walked into the room, his face turned white. He was used to seeing me in a big fancy office with a big mahogany desk with a big corner view. And that year he walked in and I was alone in a dingy office sitting on a $10 Walmart chair and those white folding tables. That year, I was expecting the rabbi to go easy on me. He sits down at the table and he says to me,
"This year, I'm not going to ask you for 18,000, but this year we'll ask you double, 36,000.
I went into a trance. The rabbi froze in front of me. It was just me, myself, and God. And at first I was angry. I was saying to myself, how could he do this to me? He knows that I'm starting fresh. He knows how hard it is. How could he ask such a big ask? But then I thought to myself, if this is all true, then God is not going to hurt me for giving charity.
In der Tag in Cheshbenis, wenn gehe zu Tzedake, darf sein nicht verbunden mit Zeichel. A viele nicht mit was lebt, nur gibt das gleich nicht was jot, und mit dieses war gewollt.
I came out of the trance. One single tear ran down my cheek, and I said one word. Okay. I said, it's up to God. It's not my problem. I'm going to do my best and I'm going to commit. But at the end of the day, it's up to Him to make sure it happens.
Und wie der Rebbe der Nosser gesagt, dass jede Macht nicht geben auf Tzedaka als Stub, was in Gashmis in der Tor bei ist meist kein Pesach mehr riefen. Also können geben dem Schum, geben dem der Rebbe Ruf a Ziner Choder. Also soll können mit keinem sein Achlatos Atebe bimilua, und dann das mit der Simcha vetuv levo, wo der Funde verstandig am Egitem kam vor dem Kocher, der soll können weggeben dem Schum mit Simcha auf tuv levo.
That year in business, I absolutely exploded. It was an incredible year from zero to hero overnight. The type of growth that I had was not normal. And by the end of that year, I was able to fulfill every single dollar of that $36,000 pledge. So I started to go on a search to find where exactly the source for this concept of giving charity makes a person wealthy. So I came across the standard line in Torah that everybody knows, which in Hebrew is called Asher Tis Asher.
Asher Tis Asher.
Which means that when a person gives charity, he becomes wealthy.
Tithe to become wealthy.
So I continued to learn and study more, and I came across the magic phrase that I'm about to tell you that changed my life forever and is about to change your life forever. And the secret hidden line is found in a book called Malachi, and it goes like this: Ubachanuni na bazos.
Ubachanuni na bazos.
Chanuni no bazeit, afal pi was bichlal torzach nicht sein der Ingen. Von Eisproben dem Ebersten, mit dem Eisnamen, wie es wird herausgebracht in Schulchen Noro, Chelik jere Deya, und Hilchis Doki non-Heiz, aber ne Gehe zu Zdoki, so demolte der Eberster nicht nur se meg sein de Pchino, no der Eberster betzach up Chanuni no bozei, zar bet am Zolem Eisproben.
The next year when the rabbi came and asked for $50,000, I gladly obliged, of course. And the year after that, they asked for $100,000. Now that was really pushing myself. I said yes. What was I going to do? Say no? Would you believe that it worked again? It was all starting to make sense. I tested God, and He opened up new channels, new ways for me to make a living. And I had made more in that year when I gave $100,000 than I had ever made in my life. And I also had enough left over. By then, I was so convinced when it came to charity that there's no difference for me between taking a ball and dropping it and letting it fall by gravity and giving charity and getting money back in return. There's no difference. As I started documenting and talking more about my experience with charity, all of a sudden, from all around the world, people would reach out to me, telling me about their stories, their miracles that they themselves saw.
So the first time that we gave charity in a way that I would describe as making us slightly uncomfortable was Ida and I went to a class at Chabad of Ohio State University. They were hosting Rabbi Yossi Jacobson, YY. We were super inspired. He spoke about a number of things, one of the things being giving and the importance of giving. We walked up to Rabbi Jacobson. We said, Rabbi, your message is fantastic, it's powerful, and it needs to be heard by the world. Why don't you start a website, an online yeshiva, and we will underwrite it. And I had no idea what the financial commitment would look like. The dollar amount was